Hello everyone, welcome back to Educately Geography. Today we're going to talk about the themes of geography and how our course ties into those themes. So let's get started. Um, Today's objectives, we're just going to introduce our four main themes of geography, and we're going to talk about the structure of our geography course and how it describes those themes in detail. But first, you might be wondering what the four main themes are. First, we have location. Then you have the interactions between humans and the environment. You have movement, and lastly, you have region. And depending on what curriculum you're following, there may be more or fewer themes. It really just depends on what certain courses highlight and what they define as key aspects of the course. These are our four main themes. So, yeah, let's describe each one of them in further detail. Location. Simply put, location is just where you are in the world. You can find your location by using a map to find coordinates. So, for instance, if you have Google Maps on your phone or on your computer, you can use it to find your exact coordinates using a GPS system. Or you can look up your address if like for instance, you have a house. You know exactly where you are if you know your address because you can look it up, for instance, in a map or like in some sort of GPS. These methods are known as absolute location because you know exactly where you are numerically. You can also describe where you are relative to something else. Say you're in a city next to a historic landmark and you don't know your exact coordinates, but you know that you're 500 feet away from a landmark. You know where you are relative to that landmark. So that's known as relative location. And in this course, we talked about different tools that geographers use to find both absolute and usually it's absolute, but sometimes also relative location. So we have an entire unit dedicated to that. So look out for that. Next up, we have interactions between humans and the environment. This has two main parts to it. First of all, how the environment has influenced humans, but also, I would argue more importantly, the positive and mostly negative ways humans have impacted nature. I say mostly negative because there are a lot of negative things humans have done to the natural world. For instance, we have problems, very real problems, such as climate change, pollution, and ozone depletion, which we will investigate again in future videos. This video is meant to be more of an introduction to the things we talk about both here and in general with geography. Movement is our next theme. Movement describes the movement of humans from old places to new places. So this can be something on like a national level when you talk about countries. For instance, emigration versus immigration. Emigration is basically the act of leaving an old country or leaving a country, while immigration is the act of moving or like getting to a new country. And this is a big topic in our modern world. So we have to know push and pull factors that we're going to define. Basically, a push factor is a reason that's causing you to leave a country in the first place. So that might be war, persecution, poverty. Those are reasons you might leave a country. While pull factors, those are reasons why a different country that you're moving to seems attractive. So if you're moving somewhere because that place has more opportunity or freedom of speech, that's a pull factor that pulls you towards that country. And again, this is a big topic in today's world. That's why we cover, and most geography courses cover movement and immigration and emigration. There are other ways that a movement is relevant, though. For instance, you have urbanization, which is the topic of people moving from rural areas to more urban cities, which has happened over the last few centuries. And you also have the topic about population growth. Basically, a lot of places are getting overcrowded now with the great massive population that humans have had. So those are also reasons why people are moving. And last but not least, we have regions. A region is an area of land with definable characteristics. In this course, we talk about them in two different ways. First, you might define regions with physical characteristics, so things like land, based on land, soil, and vegetation. And we talk about that in earlier parts of our course, basically just natural distinctions between different places. While later on we talk about human characteristics, regions with human characteristics, so things like culture, tradition, economics, government, how those aspects separate different countries on a more local level, maybe cities and states, different parts of the United States, for instance. And yeah, different continents. How is this course structured to meet the needs of these overarching themes? Well, I mean, we have 13 units here at our Educate Lead Geography course, and that might seem like a lot, but it's not really not. A lot of these units are smaller, so let's just talk about them. Unit 1, you're currently watching a video in Unit 1. It's just an introduction. Unit 2 is about location mostly. It's about the tools that geographers use. Units 3 to 4, they're about humans and the environment and movement. These units talk about the problems that humans are causing in relative to nature, for instance, climate change, pollution. So it talks about these two themes. It also talks about region as when it's relevant to that. A lot of these topics and themes do overlap in a sense, so it's hard to divide the course into those themes. That's why we divided them into different units. Unit 5 talks about region in light of government and economics, so basically how they differ in various parts of the world and just different types of government and economics overall. Unit 6 through 12, just studying various continents, a part of, I would say, human characteristics of regions, just different cultures in every continent. As for Antarctica, we talk about the history of exploration there and just what it tells us about the environment, climate change. Unit 13 is just activities that are more interactive to help fit some people's needs for learning. So yeah, that does it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or if you need help with a different subject or other parts of geography, feel free to browse our site. We have plenty of other videos and subjects. And yeah, that wraps it up. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.